Guys, let's just show you what we got cooking here. This is a port that's just been roughed in. Let's get that to focus. That was just roughed in with a grinding stone. This is a port that's been sanded out. We're not going for, you know, crazy stuff here. We're just trying to clean these up. We've enlarged them a little bit. The main thing is just getting smooth. And these are pretty smooth. They're smooth as I want to get them. I don't want to get nuts. Normally when I would port something, in all seriousness, be using a carbide bit. That's perfect for hogging stuff out real fast. I got real long ones here. And I got broad ones. And then I got some in the shape of balls. I got a bunch of different styles of carbide bits that Dad's picked me up over the years because he likes to support me and he's a pretty cool dad. But I left this one rough. This one's, my fingernail don't catch in this one at all. This one catches in this one. That tells you how different that is. I'm gonna set the little camera up and I'm gonna detail through like a voiceover deal how I get these ports this smooth from here, in case people don't know, in case they want to try this on their own. I will say, if you go to port a cylinder head, it's best to have like a junk head. Like when I learned how to port, I have a bunch of junk big block Mopar heads, and one of them I cut up. And Doug used to need to come pick up your sectioned head, but see, I cut it up, and then I got one in the house. Oh, my light's still on. But I tested it out and I ported that dang thing. It went all the way out to max wedge. It was insane how far it went. But it's good to always do some research, know where your water jackets are so we don't break through. That's why I'm not getting nuts with this, because there's a lot of meat here actually. Dang, you could port those out a lot. Yeah, I didn't even, oh, that's crossover. Oh, here we go, water jacket. Yep, yeah, you don't want to go too far. There's probably about that much wall thickness between the water jacket and the port. But it's a good thing to know where your ports are, because you don't want to break through on an iron head, because then it's potential junk. The intake side you could weld it, but the exhaust you probably don't want to mess with. In fact, it's not really worth messing with, but with a head like this, it's not worth taking the risk. So we're going to set the little camera up and I'm going to film doing this last port for you, and I'll see if I can talk to you and, you know, give you guys some pointers. Alright guys, so we're going to give this a shot. Alright, so see, we got a pretty worn out drumming sand bit. I personally just like to start off with a new sanding bit for each port. At least I try to. So we're going to get this baby off here. And all that jazz. One thing I will mention, this is a variable speed Dremel tool. Not a name brand Dremel, but it's a kind of a cheap kit I got at Menards. I had to modify it, and you'll see that in the video, that it's missing its main snout, which, you know, it has a lock ring, a push button that lets you change out your bits real easy. Well, that screwed up on me, so I cut it all off, and it actually works out better. I have to use a pair of vice grips to change each bit, but it gives me more access to each port. So you see, I just changed it out and I moved it down to my lap so I could actually get a good grip on it. Well, come on, Jed, get it done. Come on, let's get to work. See, new bit, spinning real easy. And we're going to get to work sanding on this baby. And it helps to have light in there, but when this camera was here, it's really hard to hold that and let you guys see. By this time, I have done 8 of these intake ports, well 7, so I've kind of got a feel for where I need to go. And I don't know why I showed you that again. But, so, yeah, I just work up and down, not real fast. This is in real time. It takes about 7 to 8 minutes for each port to get sanded perfectly smooth. And of course, you know, each port's different. The casting isn't perfect, but I was using that casting line as kind of a way to judge it. And there I was testing the thickness, and it's plenty thick. I was just trying to smooth out that casting line, basically. One thing I typically do, and you will have seen it, is I'll start off by running a sanding drum, a small one, or a stone, down the corners of each one, and that gives me a good guideline. It smooths those out real good. And here we're coming back for another pass. Just take your time. You know, you want to make it fairly smooth. A little bit of turbulence is good in a port, especially the intake. The exhaust, you want it to be as smooth as possible. So just take that into mind, you know. And you can see it starting to really shine up here as we slowly just bring it more. And it takes a lot of sanding, I tell you that. It's a lot of work, but well, it's not really a lot of work, but it's tedious work. You just want to take your time and get a feel for it. Main part. You know, it's pretty simple work. Of course, I just got done contradicting myself. But, oh, and that does happen right there. Those bits will fly apart. I do show it at some point, but my Menards kit came with like 200 of those sanding drums, so it's really handy. That kit was like $30. It came with that Dremel tool. Well, I shouldn't call it a Dremel tool because that's name brand, but you get my point. Yeah, right there. It came with all of those, and I've used a lot of them. And it used to be really nicely organized, but sometimes that bin will fall off the table, and then you have to go pick them all up. And sometimes it's not worth it. You let about 50 of them just go to the trash because you're like, I'm done picking these up. And so, yeah, I'm going to try and stop saying and. Every time I say and, take a shot. If you're of age, that is. Here I'm just changing out that bit. I don't know why I'm wasting your time by cutting that footage, but I mean, there you go. And here we're repositioning so we can see the other side of the port wall. And I will tell you, this was kind of a tricky deal. I'm right-handed, and it would really be helpful if I was left-handed or I was ambidextrous. It's really tough to get this other side of the port, but I managed to get it. And the same thing with this one. You can see the dark spots where the rust was and the rock casting is. Just trying to get that smooth for the most part. Trying to get it all one layer, but not going too deep. I didn't want to get obnoxious. And of course there I'm getting the top of it. I'm not even looking. I'm just sanding it smooth. I'm not worried about the top of the port at the moment. My main goal is to get the sides and the bottom, because when this head is mounted on there, the flow is mainly going to affect on the sides and the bottom. And I know I'll get guys who say I'm a dumbass for doing that, but that's just the way I did it. That's the way I like to do things. Now, if it was like a big block Mopar head, I would do all four sides with, you know, that level of care. But here we go. Oh, dang it, I said again. This narrating thing's kind of neat. I'm going to tell you that right now. I know I'm kind of getting off topic here, but it's pretty sweet. I watch a lot of channels who do this narrate over their work thing, and I tell you what, it ain't half bad. So yeah. Shit, I said again. Crap. But yeah, you know, you kind of get the point of it. Every time. You guys in the comments below need to say how many times I've said seriously, and count those two. Guy who gets it right gets a cookie. But you gotta come to me. You gotta drive to Kansas. I'll get you a cookie. You saw them sparks? Yeah, I think that was me hitting the valve. I'm trying not to do that. I didn't really want to touch the valve, but here I'll go real fast on this first pass just to get a gauge for it, and you can kind of see where your high and low spots are. And we'll just move back and forth, in and out of the port, and that could almost be taken the wrong way, but you just do this a whole bunch of times and you get the gist of it. Like I said, it took me about 7 minutes or so. No, it took me 9 minutes. I'm looking at the footage right now to do this one port, and of course it'd probably take about 6 or 7 minutes if I wasn't manhandling around a camera, but I just wanted to let you guys see exactly what went into doing this in real time, and you know what to expect. So there you go. And we're going to speed the rest of this up, and you can watch. Alright guys, I'm not done. I wanted to tell you this. That is my favorite part. Blowing all the nasty out of there. And that don't even sound right. My phone just went off. Yeah, I just love that. In fact, I think I want to see that again. Yep, look at all that. That is all of the cast iron. And there we go, we're cleaning the rest of them. You can see just how shiny that port really is from the way it's reflecting. These ones weren't as dirty. Stuff kind of just falls out over time. So yeah. I just wanted to see that in slow motion. That was kind of the whole purpose of all of this. I just really wanted to watch it in slow motion as I blew all that dust out of there. I thought that was just nifty and cool as hell. Anyways, guys, let's get back to the actual video. Here's the progression of one exhaust port I did. You saw how nasty it was, and just going up in different grits and getting it pretty dang smooth. As nice as I wanted to get it, just for what I'm doing. So thank you for watching, guys. See you in the next one. Bye.